Alain Prost? That is the question. There's the number 3 card. Where is it? There's Senna as well. There is Prost. It's Prost and Senna together. Senna has just changed over. And so now Ayrton Senna leads Alain Prost on karts.
A new start and a new race order, no doubt, when we get down to turn 1. Russell Parks, Ben Moss, Lewis Hamilton. They're your front 3 in the order as they come to the line. Wait for the green light. Who's going to duck out of the slipstream first? They drop down behind the number plates. The race is underway.
Who are you?
I'm Oliver Richardson, I'm 14 years old and I'm from Bury St Edmunds.
So, who are you?
I am Deep Richardson. I am quite a few years old and I am mum to Joel behind the camera and Oliver Richardson.
Who are you?
I am Stuart Richardson and I am father to Oliver and Joel.
So, before a race weekend, or like building up to it on the Friday night, what do you do in preparation?
I tend to get my stuff downstairs, my helmet and my bag with all the other stuff in, like my suit and my boots and my rim protector. I usually clean my helmet if it needs clean, make sure everything's in my bag, and then come out here and help load the cart into the trailer.
So Friday night before a race weekend, after a long day at work, consists of me in the kitchen preparing all the food ready for the full race weekend, making sure everyone's got enough to eat. But yeah, it's just making sure that Ollie's got his stuff down and he's cleaning his race helmet and just organising everybody, really.
Preparation for the race weekend for me could start 2 weeks in advance. Taking the cart apart, stripping it down basically to the chassis and making sure everything is cleaned and put back together. There's a lot of forethought has to go in between each weekend, and might even be as big as an engine service. So that means getting the engine off, taking it to one, or there's 2 or 3 people who can do it, but we mainly have one person who does it. So that would be taking it, that's a 2-hour drive there, 2 hours back, just to take the engine up there. So it's a whole day, a day's holiday to go and get the engine done. So there's all those sort of things that have to be done in between. Friday comes, putting the cart back together, getting everybody out to help load up, and then it's all trailers locked up and packed away, and we're ready to go.
So, morning routine, talk us through it.
So morning routine first morning, being as it's practice day, I'm usually the first one up and out of bed before everybody else, making sure that everybody does get out of bed on time because it is quite an early start, and boys are not really easy to wake up. Just making sure, once again, that we've got all the food packed, things that need to go into the car are packed, get some caffeine down everybody, and some breakfast in the car for on the way, because nobody wants to eat at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Saturday's day one of the 2 days, obviously Saturday being the test day and Sunday being the race day. Normally on Saturday, again, it's quite an early start, just like race day, but then it's just all about making sure I'm alright and driving and getting back used to the track and driving again, because roughly about a month or so since I've driven last. Usually test a few different setups, and that's about it.
Practice day is several things rolled into one, really. We pretty much know the setup for our kart, for the type of kart it is, the track that we're at, for wet, for dry, for intermediate. We're really now trying to fine tune to get sort of extra tenths or even hundredths of a second now, and just a bit of balance for that particular day. Tracks, even though it's the same track you've been to time and time again, the balance can slightly change depending on where it's been dry for the previous 3 or 4 weeks, depending on how hot it is, depending on so many different factors. We have had practice days where the object obviously is to get quicker and quicker, and we've come away and we've been getting slower and slower, and it's very easy to look at that and say, well, that was a bad day because all you've done is just gone slower and slower. But the good thing is that from that might have been 5 different changes we've done, but we now know 5 things not to do.
The practice day, we get to the track at whatever time we get there. It's a little bit easier than a race day because it's not quite as stressful. So get to the track, set up, get the breakfast on, and it's so much more relaxed on a practice day. If we could just do practice, I'd be more than happy. Yeah, just making sure that people are fed, watered. For me, it's just nice to see Ollie out there going around doing his thing.
We came home the Saturday night because it's more convenient because we don't have a caravan and it's quite a way away from from where we live. So we left our trailer with some friends that do have a caravan, so obviously they were staying there. And then on the way home we stopped at the services to get a bite to eat, and then when we got home we all got an early night ready for the next day.
So race day, what's that like?
Race day, always to me the longest day of the entire month. It just seems that every single second of the day lasts for an hour.
So basically everything that we've done throughout the previous sort of 2 or 3 weeks comes down to race day. And I think that one thing that you certainly learn is that you just have to expect the unexpected on race day. All that preparation, all the work that you've done can be undone in one corner.
how did race day go?
It was quite a normal race day, but also quite a good one. Again, it's a bit. The start is a bit like there's testing. You make sure everything's all right, but instead of the practice sessions, there's the races. So there was 3 heats and then the final, and obviously where you finish in the heats adds up and makes where you finish in the final. I started quite far back for all the heats, and I managed to finish 3rd, 2nd and 5th in my heats, which put me on 3rd on the grid for the final.
Mixture of emotions, really. Being scared for him, being excited for him. As a mum, always worried, always worried, always want the best for your children, but always worried.
Most of it for me is actually not watching, not so much watching him race as a dad, but watching the car as a mechanic. And it's only really when sort of he's just on his own, maybe sort of either in the lead or just on his own, I can then just, there has been races where in the final he's out on his own in the lead, and then that's about the only time of the day when I can actually just enjoy watching him drive.
So how'd the final go?
It was quite an interesting final, to say the least. Got up to 2nd after starting 3rd, got up to 2nd quite quickly. Me and the leader, we just started battling, and we battled for most of the race. We swapped places a lot of times throughout the race, and then coming on to the last lap, I managed to overtake him. And then with only a few corners to go when I was in the lead, there was a racing incident between me and the person in 2nd place, and that just dropped me down to 3rd, and I finished 3rd. Obviously, it was quite disappointing because I know I had the potential to finish 1st, but the important thing is that we know we had the pace to finish 1st. 3rd's still not bad for the points, and these are the sort of things you just got to take on the chin, because this happens a lot in motorsport, so you just got to take on the chin. On the chin.
And a driver that impressed a lot of us today and drove very, very hard. So well done to him. Put your hands together. He is a novice driver, number 23, Oliver Richardson. Second place. Well done. Goes to number 53.
So, why do we as a family continue to race karts?
I suppose the reason why we continue to do this, being as it's Ollie's hobby, I suppose it really is a hobby for myself and for Stuart and for Joel. It is a family hobby. It's nice to be able to do things as a family. There are a few families that don't do things like that anymore. That in itself pleases me.
I wanted from the start both boys to have interests and hobbies that they can look back on, rather than just saying, yeah, just used to ride my bike and play football with the boys. I wanted them to have things that they could look back on, character building, learn that life is not perfect, that it doesn't matter what happens, sometimes things just happen for a reason and you've got to accept that and move on.
Why do you have such a passion for motorsport?
I guess it's mainly down to just the speed of it, and I enjoy the speed and doing my best and winning, and yeah, I just really like going as fast as I can, trying my hardest. But I don't get as much seat time as others, but when I do get the seat time, it's really what I enjoy, so I don't mind it too much.
Cool. Any last words?
Shout out to my family. Family.